What's up, YouTube? I'm gonna make an install video that I did on my Icon i40L. This is a 2021 model. I removed all the lead acid batteries and installed a lithium ion battery into this thing. I'm not super technically savvy on these things, but I got a few tricks and tips along the way on the internet, and I'm going to show you guys what I did so that if you do this install, you can do it pretty easily yourself. All right, I'll be right back. So the first thing I did was removed all 6 of the Trojan lead acid batteries that were in the cart. First, had to take off this battery holder. There was a little bolt right here removed, then took this plastic cap off. Then you have to unscrew these. Mine was kind of rusted in there, but I just wiggled it and used the pliers and got it out of there. Another tip I saw along the way is you can put some zip ties onto these batteries here, and it helps you give a little handle when you're trying to pull them out. They weigh about 60 pounds a piece, so it's a little bit tedious kind of getting those things out of there. But you know, just basically remove the battery cables and take these out. One more thing I will suggest before you get started on that. Turn your run to off. That way you will not shock yourself when you're doing all this. And then just get those batteries out and I'll show you what we did next. Okay, so this is my finished product, but I'm gonna walk you through what I did here. So when you remove the old batteries, you will have several things connected to the positive terminal on one of the batteries and the negative terminal on the other side of the circuit, okay? So you will have this battery cable here and this battery cable here. Those are the power to the actual cart. So you will need to save those to hook them to the new battery. Here's the part that was a little bit confusing to me. This right here is your onboard charger for the old system, okay? Obviously that all ran to this little charging port right here, which is where you plug in your charger from the outside. We're not gonna be using that anymore, okay? So the confusing part to me was trying to figure out which wires to disconnect and that you did not have to use for the new charging system. This is what they look like. If you follow this back, it winds around behind the charger and connects to the back of this old battery charger that, once again, we're not going to be using. So there's a red positive one and a black negative one, okay? Those were coming off of and connected to the positive and negative on the circuit that we removed of the other lead acid batteries, okay? I've seen some people who will remove this charger from the cart. I decided to not do that. I think I'm gonna leave it just in case something happens, just so I don't have to reinstall it later or anything like that. I got it all installed without having to worry without taking that out. I'm gonna tuck these wires away, probably put a little electrical tape around the end of them just so that they don't do anything crazy along the way. Another thing that I've seen that luckily I did not have to go through, some people have to, I've seen some videos where they say they install their lead acid battery and then they have to take this harness apart, cut these 2 wires and splice them together in order to make the cart move. I didn't do it, and I tested things out and it worked right, so I did not have to do that, so that's still intact. But some people have said when they install their lead acid battery, they have to disconnect these 2 wires, cut them, and then splice them together in order to make the cart work. So not sure what the case was there, but I didn't have to do it. So yeah, so these 2 wires, boom, boom, excuse me, these 2 cables, boom, and right there as well. Those were connected from the old charger. We're not using that system, got something else. So you just keep those out of the way. Okay, so here's the battery that I chose. It's a Lithium 51.2 volt, 100 amp hour golf cart battery. It is a Amazon product that I picked up. And, you know, I just looked through a few and kind of thought this one looked pretty good. It's got a metal casing, probably weighs about 100 pounds. Here's my connections over here. It's got a power button. This goes to a new display unit that shows you voltage, how much the battery's charged, all those kinds of things. I'll probably mount that at some point, but I just wanted to get it hooked up to start off with. It works fine, shows me everything I need there. As you can see, the positive and negative battery terminals are on the side of this unit. Once again, I hooked up the positive from the cart, the negative from the cart here. I've got some accessories hooked up on this thing. I've got a DC converter right here that I had previously as well. So I got a converter there that I've also got hooked up to a little fuse box. These wires are all over the place. It's not really the point of this video, but I've got some rock lights underneath this that I run through there. And then I've got a little radio thing there that I've run through here as well. So those are all hooked up to the positive and negatives as well. And then this is the new battery charger right here. As you can see, it literally just runs off an outlet. So the battery charger, we had to hook the new positive and negatives up to the battery. So those replace the ones that we didn't use before. Got all our accessories hooked up and cranked this thing up, and it ran perfectly. The other thing that some people have had issues with, that thank goodness I didn't, but when I turn my card on now, my old display still works. Some people were having problems with that, but you know, the blinkers, everything works. Hit reverse, it works. Hit my brake, it works. Still shows my 52 volts, 100%. So luckily that works. I may not even need to use this new display here, but I got it hooked up anyway. But yeah, the cart runs great. Acceleration's good. It keeps its speeds up hills better than it did before. You know, those batteries are almost 5 years old, so it's kind of time to replace them anyway. So I figured it'd be a good time to do that. But yeah, guys, super easy install. Next thing I got to do, here, shine that light right here, buddy. Next thing I got to do is come in. This battery came with a little wedge to put underneath it to keep it off the ground. Probably, I guess, for heat. So that was pretty cool. So I went ahead and hooked that up. I'm going to mount this to the cart. I'm going to mount my converter to the cart, my little fuse box to the cart. Just kind of get everything tidied up in here. But yeah, I'm super pleased with the battery. You know, if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I'll see if I can help you out. Once again, I'm not an expert, but seem to get it done. Oh, there's the horn. Honk, honk. See you guys later.